Hello and welcome back. Today I've got a very shiny and sleek Hot Toys figure in the form of Iron Man Mark II. This design is from the first movie, which is tied with the sequel for my all-time favorite Iron Man movie. I think the first has a better story, but the sequel has the best designs, including my all-time favorite, the Mark V. That's not to say the first movie doesn't have its share of souped-up suits, like say the Mark II. Yeah, it's a pretty simple design compared to what comes after it, but I'm a sucker for the simple and streamlined suits of the Iron Man line. And that's including this figure by Hot Toys, which is pretty hot, with a new finish and die-cast elements built into this sweet 12-inch figure. And like all Hot Toys Iron Man figures, it's meticulously detailed with curved plates, a vast amount of panels and ports, and a classic design which never gets old despite the many iterations throughout the years. I think we can safely say that Hot Toys will be making Iron Men until the end of time, and you know what, that's a-okay with me. This figure comes with two heads. The first is your standard light-up head, which is of course a must when dealing with any Iron Man figure. One thing I do like about it being all silver is you get a better and clearer sense of the make of the suit, and that includes the head. The second head features a magnetized faceplate that you can lift to show Tony Stark's face, which is just an excellent rendition of Robert Downey Jr. And let's face it, if there's anyone that can make a perfect clone of Robert, it's Hot Toys. They've made countless molds of this guy's face, and they've all been great, including this one. Both heads can move to the left and right, and can shift slightly down and up. If there's one piece that screams prototype design, it's definitely this torso with all these small rivets spread throughout the chest. It's a nicely constructed piece along with the arc reactor shining through the center. The chest can be removed, showing the inner workings of the suit. I really like how they've made this. It's in a simple black and silver configuration, but it's very nuanced and it looks very techno sci-fi, like something you would see out of Tron. The shoulder blades can shift to reveal a hidden mounted weapon. It's a bit of a chore to get them out, but once you have them in the right position, it looks pretty good, especially in conjunction with the other movable ports found at the rear of the suit. The rear contains the detailed approach of the figure with a lot of ports and pieces which rise and shift, particularly these plates, which are the air flaps that are activated when Iron Man is in flight. Like most of the newer styled suits, the lower torso can be extended to allow more articulation, from ab crunches to swivel action from the top of the figure to the lower torso. One of the things that really stands out for me is how this spine is constructed. I just really like how they form the pieces to make it look like a spine that's jutting out from all that metal. Now there is a button at the tailbone which Hot Toys says you use to extend the figures for better motion, but I couldn't really tell the difference, and it's something that I didn't use all that much. The shoulders, which are constructed of two pieces, are very adjustable to allow the arms to move in different ways. It's attached to the body by a ball socket that gives the arm more ways to move, specifically to the back and to the front. The figure has double jointed elbows, but with these plates, it's not going to attain a bicep curl. The bend is about 90 degrees. The hands are connected by ball joints that can rotate. You're limited what you can do with the movement of the hand due to the way the top of the wrist guard is made. The waist has a good feature which shifts whenever you move the legs to a higher position. These two pieces rise and fall depending on how you adjust the legs. It's a nice addition and one I'm hoping Hot Toys will think of for future suits. These legs are connected to the lower torso by ball joints and can shift very slightly to the side. They can also rise and move a good bit. And that's thanks to the aforementioned movable waist pieces which allow that articulation to happen. The articulation for the double jointed knees is pretty good given that there's a lot of curves and ports along the legs. I was expecting some blockage, but it's a pretty decent point of articulation. The rear of the lower suits have ports which allow you to see the inner workings of the suit, and they're actually produced just as well if not better than the interior of the chest, and they also use some colored circuitry in the background. As some of you know, I started this channel shooting pictures of Gundam, and I really like it when manufacturers create these features allowing you to see what's going on behind the robot, or in this case, the Iron Man. This is an excellent feature to include, and it's done really well. The feet are on ball joints and can move slightly back and forth. The plate pieces on the front and rear of the leg shift to allow that foot to move just a bit more. The feet also has toe articulation that can shift it a little up and down. The Mark II comes with 3 pairs of hands in addition to the fists it comes with. You've got articulated hands, blasting hands, which are very much appreciated since the connections on the wrists are raised, so you can pose the figure blasting away in the correct position. And then you have these hands which have a blasting effect glued onto the hands. The effects are okay and they're made to simulate Iron Man using them to fly. But I'm not really a fan of effects in general and will probably not use them. It also includes these Countermeasure Dispensers which you use to replace the dispensers on the side of the legs. Hot Toys also gives you this wrist showing the inner workings of the suit. Now this was shown in the movie when Tony is doing a diagnostic test before he flies out of the garage and crashes through the roof. You've also got a pair of rocket launchers you can attach to the top of the wrists. Like the figure itself, it's wonderfully detailed with a nice gold finish to the small but explosive weapons. In addition, the Mark II comes with a holographic Mark III collectible. It's about 3 inches tall. This looks pretty cool in person, and those pictures from Hot Toys don't do it justice. This is a very detailed iteration of the Mark III, and it does very much look like a hologram in the right light, so kudos to Hot Toys. Last but not least is this superb stand that you can have Iron Man standing or flying on. The stand enables you to clip the figure on whether you want it in a power pose or flying through the air. And it's nicely made with some cool light up features which surround the stand all the way through. To be honest, when the original iteration came out several years ago, all I saw was a plain old silver suit. But sometimes plain old silver works well, especially if it's on top of a well-designed suit. If you hadn't bought it, I think now is a really good time to get it since it's dressed up with new paint and some die-cast parts. It's a well-deserved addition to your Iron Man collection, one that stands out not because of vibrant colors it may lack, but because of its cold steel-like appearance that shines and exudes massive power, giving a glimpse of what's come before and what's to come in the future. I'm Otaku Surf, and I'll see you around.